Hey everybody, welcome back to Storytime. Today I am in our newly set up hammock and I've got my pigeon shirt on. So many books, so little time. And I've got a great story for you today. It's called The Finger and the Nose. And this one is going to be given away. It's been a while since I've done a story time because we've been busy getting books ready from Bookshop Santa Cruz. And if you'd still like to donate to that, you can. They're doing a Books for Kids fundraiser. And we've been organizing books, the librarians and I, and getting them out to different school sites at the lunch distribution sites. So I think for our school, they'll be out tomorrow. There'll be some. So this is one that's going to be given away. It's called The Finger in the Nose. And it is by Paula Merlan, and the illustrator's name is Gomez. The Finger and the Nose. Your nose is going to end up huge. Her parents would tell her this over and over. The thing was, Sophie had a bad habit. She would fly Tim, the index finger of her left hand, the index finger, that one right there, your pointer, your index finger of her left hand, right up her nose. There she is. Sophie did it all the time. While she was feeding Milo, while she was coloring her animal drawings, as she was chewing mint-flavored gum. Inside Sophie's nose, there wasn't much light, but it was nice and warm. Little by little, Tim turned that space into his home. At the entrance of the nose, Tim hung a giant sign, Home Sweet Home. He also set up a living room with comfortable armchairs so he could watch TV. When he got bored, he'd go to the kitchen and enjoy the wonderful tasting menu. Booger bolognese and snot sorbet. Oh boy, he really created a nice space for himself in there. Tim's best friend Bob the Finger would pop over from time to time and he would rustle up some delicious treats for him. Slimy chocolate cake was his favorite. And look, you can see there's some germs in there. This one looks a little bit like the coronavirus germ, only it's missing the crown on top of the bacteria. This is what they see under the microscope when they're looking. After dinner, Tim liked to sit back in his chair and read one of the books from his library. Some of his favorite titles were The Big Bad Finger and The Three Little Digits. Digits are a name for your fingers. Phalanges, your digits, your fingers. Phalanges, digits and fingers. Great words for the fingers, right? He also liked Tom Thumb. There's the Big Bad Finger and the Three Little Digits, kind of like the Big Bad Wolf and the Three Little Pigs. Get it? They have their own versions, apparently. One day, Sophie was looking in the mirror and saw that her nose had become gigantic. This picture's funny. Her dog's about to get in the bath. Her brother's sitting on the toilet. Oh my goodness. My nose looks like a turnip. Who's shouting and screaming? Mom, my nose is as big as a giant's nose. We told you, Sophie, but you never listened. Look at her dog's going berserk and her brother's just sitting there reading a book. Googly eyes. What can I do? Dunk it in cold water? Ask it to shrink? Please, please. Hide it with a baseball cap? Her brother thinks that's funny. Oh, Sophie, you can figure it out for yourself. Take a good look and think about what you need to do. What does she need to do, boys and girls? take a good look at her. Sophie started to think through everything she did on a typical day. Soon she realized that Tim would take a trip to her nose anytime he could. "Tim, do you know why my nose has grown?" Sophie asked. "Well, you've been bringing me to your nose for years." "Seriously?" Sophie asked, puzzled. "I've made it my home. Inside, I've got a living room, a kitchen, a library," Tim replied. I love the garden gnome right there. The nose house. There's got to be one of these in the real world. Someone has to have a house that's shaped like a nose. "How could you do this to me?" Sophie asked. "And if you give me enough time, I'll be able to build a park with slides, swings, and flower beds," Tim added. "No, please, if you keep on building things up there, my nose will hit the floor." She's imagining that her nose would become like an elephant's trunk if he does all of that. Tim didn't know what to do. He wanted to help Sophie, but how could he do it without losing his lovely home? "You don't want to kick me out, do you? Who's going to keep me cozy and warm? Who will cook my slimy chocolate cake for me? And most importantly, how will I read my favorite books? Bow, wow, meow." "I'll make all of that happen," Sophie reassured him. "I guess that's fine," Tim responded. "It's up to your hand." Sophie pondered the situation. Her finger was right. She was the one responsible for making her nose grow so big. Her parents had told her loads of times. Her brother's watching Room on a Broom. I think that's what that one's called, right? That's based on the book, The Witch. Ever since then, Sophie has been careful about picking her nose. And Tim now has a jacket so he doesn't get cold. He's cozy and warm. See? Each time Sophie makes a cake at home, she lets him try it first. And when she reads her favorite books, she uses her finger to track the words. So Tim feels like he's the star of the story. Tracking. Do you do that? That's the tracking finger. Get your magic fingers out. I don't do it all the time, but I still do it sometimes when I'm having a hard time focusing on where I am in the story. Sophie and Tim are happy, and little by little, her nose is going back to its normal size. Oh, Tim. Her parents look so proud, and her dog too. And look, she has a hammock at her house too, just like me. However, there is someone at home who's still got a lot to learn. Dun, 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 dun. And that's the end, boys and girls. There's Tim. I've been putting this book up in my window to kind of cheer people up when they come by because it's such a funny one. So keep an eye out. If you have a little extra to give, you can donate to Bookshop Santa Cruz, and they are helping get books out to all the kids in our county. And there's other organizations like 25 Books, which is a local teacher here, 25books.org, and there's also a lot of efforts going on around the community through Friends of the Library programs. So look around wherever you are and see how you can help get books, whether it's donating books or being someone who gets to receive a book. And don't forget, when you're done with something and you've had enough, to pass it on to someone else. All right, guys, I miss everybody, and I hope you're all having a great day. And don't forget to take your finger out of the nose and play with it a different way. Bye, friends.